Hello and welcome to South Africa. It's round 5 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, and for the first ever time we land here in Cape Town. The locals, both human and mammal, are very much looking forward to this. Let's see what's going to happen. Well, here's the calendar as we look down on Cape Town itself. We race right through the heart of it as well, around a very fast street circuit. The opening 4 races, 1 to Dennis, 2 to Verline and 1 to Vern. After this we took a month break before going to Sao Paulo in Brazil, a double header in Berlin before Monaco on the 6th of May, doubling up in Jakarta, Portland on the 24th of June before the season rounds out with a double header in Rome and a double header in London, rounding out on the 30th of July. After 16 races, who will be world champion? Surrounded by water, the Cape Town E-Prix is going to be a classic. This is how the Drivers' Championship looks coming into round 5. Pascal Verline leads the way on 80 points. Jake Dennis, after not finishing in the points last time out, only on 62. Jean-Eric Verne with victory now goes level with Sebastien Borromé on 31 each. Nick Cassidy in 5th on 28, the same as Sam Bird. Hughes, Rast, Da Costa and De Grassi round out the top 10. A vast difference of points paying positions. Lotterer is on 16, Evans is on 14 as well. Would have been more but got taken out by Bird last time out. Look at that there on the board. Roland only on 14. Stoff Van Dorn, the champion last year, only on 5. Well, it's a party town here in Cape Town. Taco and Porsche lead the way, 101 points, followed by Andretti and Envision, who had a close battle with Neo McLaren. Jaguar 5th, Penske in 6th, Mahindra, Neo, Nissan, Maserati round out. Ouch Cooper still no points on the board. And the first practice session is underway here in South Africa for the Cape Town E-Prix. We've had to wait a little bit. The timing towers didn't activate until just a few seconds ago when the full course yellow test came available. The usual procedure for the drivers to get ready and going. But this is going to be something else. A tight, twisty street circuit that's long and flowing. We may be in Africa, but even the racetrack looks like it as well. It's a 2.921 kilometre, 1.815 mile circuit, first constructed this year. Scott Elkin, the race director, looks on as the head back to green flag running. The big question is, what is going to happen here this weekend? Last time out, we had Jean-Eric Verne take the victory, but it's still Pascal Verline who leads the championship. Welcome to highlights of practice 1. Practice 2 will be live tomorrow as well, and the action is revving up. It looks fantastic, and we've got radio from Verne. A big gap behind Miller, I'm hearing behind my ears there as well. But this is going to be quite entertaining as there's the finish line, the start line as well. Is it in the same location? It is. It's a very twisty, very fast, lights out procedure. It's a very curved grid here as well. Try to actually look on the map here in case the start line and finish line's in a different place. It's not. But the pit lane is a very odd one here. As you can tell, the pit lane goes across from turn 12 all the way to the exit of turn 3. So theoretically, it is faster to go through the pit lane, but there is a little bit of a hairpin involved, as you can see. So it is different. It is going to be a lot more interesting, a lot more energetic as well. As Mortara top at the moment, a 121.197. Gunther second. Rast, Evans, Bird, top 5. And Dennis now goes top. Fennestrauss goes top. They're all going much, much faster out there on the circuit. Da Costa goes into second position. Evans in 8th goes up. As well, fastest of all, sector 1. Dan Tincton to the top. Kelvin van der Linde to the top. So now we're seeing everyone start their full power lap times. Kelvin van der Linde and his home E-Prix going fastest as well. And now they're all starting to flow. We're literally in the middle of Cape Town. This is absolutely fantastic. Beautiful sea, beautiful coast. We've got a yellow flag and we've got a red flag. Well, what's happened now to bring out the red flag? As drivers cross their control line, they'll know getting a lap time. Let's see if we can see yellow flag at turn 9, and that's why! It's one of the Envisions. It's Sebastian Buemi, who has hit the wall. Front right wheel is off. And there's a wheel off in the background. There's a back wheel off too. It's in the middle of the track. It's come completely loose at the rear right. It's drifting in the middle of the track. And how on earth does that happen? Has he hit the wall at the exit there? Can't see the Tech Pro barrier damage at the exit at 9 because there's a massive opening there. But that's a huge one. And so early in the session means that he's not going to have any running whatsoever. So drama here already in South Africa. And it's a big accident for Buemi. He's hit the front right and the rear right suspension. The rear right tyre has drifted over to the left-hand side of the track and is now stuck at the side. Red flag, obviously. The clock continues to count down. It ended with Hughes, Rast, Mortara, Van der Linde and Tinctum as the top 5. Fenestras, Gunther, Da Costa, Dennis, Van Dorn, Nato, Evans, Bird, Buemi, Cassidy, Roland, De Grassi, Lotterer, Verne, Setterkamp and Muller, the 21 at the moment, with Verline still not completing a lap time. Huge crash. I think he's drifted into the barrier. Wouldn't be surprised if that part of the track gets walled off, because I think he's hit the exit barrier because it sort of comes in on itself for an emergency extraction. Very weird crash, and surprised that barrier is open coming through that part of the track. Let's take a look at how it happened then on board with Buemi. Oh, a huge accident for Sebastian Buemi. Coming out of turn 9, the car just drifting completely out of control, the front lifting up as well and slamming into the wall. Buemi's okay, but a huge, fast, violent accident for Sebastian Buemi here in first practice at Cape Town. So race control have just told us that we are going to be in an extension to free practice 1. So it will be extended to 17:40, which means we now have 23 minutes 30 left of this opening session. And we are underway once again for the first practice session. Practice 1 has resumed at 17:18, so the cars can now head out onto the circuit. Buemi and De Grassi are the first two to do so. Hughes and Rast now coming through. This is the unusual pit lane we've got here on both sides of the camp with the fairly common Formula E hairpin to bring you back on the other side of the pit lane. It's unusual, but it's part of Formula E's unique nature, and it enables us to have a race here in Cape Town. I think certainly it's one of the most fascinatingly and lovely looking circuits on the calendar. Certainly looks gorgeous. I absolutely cannot wait to see the race tomorrow. Well, today, from your point of view watching. Just a reminder, free practice 2 is coming up. It won't be with this camera or this commentary box. Free practice 2 is from a different location. It's on the same show as us. That's up next. Qualifying as well, and then the race will be with this camera in the commentary box as well, so it will look a little bit better, in fact a lot better. But Tom Dillon is going to be streaming the race for us. He joins us in the commentary box this weekend, along with Edward Hunter as well. And there's Nick Cassidy carrying a wonderful tribute to David Price, who sadly passed away a few days ago, 1947 to 2023. David Price, legend in the motorsport community as well, and a sudden shocking loss as well. As we're on board with Cassidy as he shakes down the back of the field. Hughes, Rast, Mortar, Van der Linde, Tinctum, top 5. So Mortara top of the session with 15 minutes to go. 1:11, 1:29. Van Dorn still second. Gunther third. Bird 4th. Evans 5th. Da Costa 6th. Cassidy 7th. Nato 8th. Hughes 9th. And Tinctum in the top 10. Van Dorn slow in sectors 1 and 2. But Verne, his personal best, sectors 1 and 2. He's pushing. Cross the line now. And Verne moves up into 8th position on a good time there.
Pushing to refine the sync with all the guys.
Pushing until we find the sync with all the other guys. Okay, as they come out then, down at turn 6 and 7. That is, 7 there. The tight 90-degree left that is hurtling downhill towards 8 and 9. Another long run alongside the motorways with beautiful scenery. With a yellow flag as Evans moves to the top. 1:10, 8:16. Has someone run onto a runoff? there's some smoke, so I think someone has gone into an on-off as well. Where is that? Yellow flag turn 7, so it's down at the 90 degree. Oh, and that's one of the Apps cars. Who is that coming to a stop? Looking at the traffic, it's Kelvin van der Linde at the 4. Look, he stopped at turn 7. So Bird goes second, Jaguar 1-2. Bird is 3/10 off, 0.298 off of Evans. Fenestra's first 2 sectors. Now, is he still there? Yeah. Van der Linde in his home race is still there. Double yellow at turn 7. Kelvin van der Linde is still down on the run, and it's a tight. He's pulled off, I think, just on the apex. So it's a tight exit. As across the line, Fenestra's goes 5th. He could. It's on the wrong side. If it was on the left, he stopped on the right. If he stopped on the left, we'll be able to push it and get out of the way. But that's a fast part of the track. That's going to need a red flag, I think, in order to get that car out. And it is a red flag, as I say it, because there's no other way to get out of that part of the track.
No, because the drive shaft, there's no drive because it broke the rim.
There's no drive because I've broken the rim. So that what? He's broken the drive shaft cable because he's hit the wall somewhere? Well, van der Linde in his home race, who is not going to be an Audi Sport driver, an Apps driver anymore after this race. So that's a big shock after Robin Fries was injured back in Mexico in January. Wow, it's only last month. This is the 5th round of the championship as well, out of 16. And Evans, Bird, Mortara now into the pit lane. They're 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Red flag out. Green light back on then. Last 4 minutes of the session as we've restarted. Evans still on top. Drivers just getting ready to do their push laps, and Roland's still in the pit lane. And let's see who's going to go fastest at the end of this first practice session at Cape Town. Checker flag comes out. Mortara, Bird, Fenestras, DaCosta, Tictum, Rast, Gunther. Follows Sete Camera, NATO, Evans the top 10. Verline, Cassidy, Hughes, Van Dorn still lap in 14th place but goes into 14th. Dennis, Vern, Lotter and Muller, Roland, Van der Linde, Buemi won't do any more, and either Will de Grassi. So they're the 3 who stay at the bottom, but it's Eduardo Mortara for Maserati who tops the session here in Cape Town. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to practice 2 here in Cape Town, South Africa. I apologise, it's going to look slightly different for the first couple of hours of broadcast, especially as we've got an annoying little light just at the top there. I'll promise I'll use battle screen as much as I can before Tom Dillon takes over streaming duties later on today. Let us know how everything is, because this is, to me, sounding a little bit echoey, but hopefully you're hearing it hopefully perfecter than I am. We're just getting ready for the second practice session, which has gone green now here in the heart of Cape Town. The cars get 30 more minutes to get all the action going, and usually what we would do is it's a sensor. By the way, there's a red flag in F1 testing. It's a sensor off of Checo's car. Usually what we would do in this situation is we would have a run through as well with everything and test it, but we just haven't had the time, unfortunately, to get everything sorted. So while I try and move iPads and laptops out of the way so it's not affecting all our vision, there's an annoying little bit of light just at the top there that's really annoying, so I'll try and fix that. But yeah, the backdrop is literally the best we can do, unfortunately. In the meantime, hopefully in future it'll be a lot easier to use than this. But good morning, cars. Look at that, out on the track. Everyone getting ASAP out there. We haven't been live for a practice session for a very long time. Everything sounds okay to me, which is great. As yesterday, of course, Sebastian Buemi had an accident out on the circuit, caused the red flag, and then Kelvin van der Linde came to a stop as well. So there was a few more issues, let's say, than what we first thought there would be. But fingers crossed as well, they're going to change that soon. Let's increase the volume of the cars a little bit. Yeah, that's why everything's a bit different at the moment, because now we can finally hear the car noise on the other bus mix than the little one. So we've just got to get used to that as well. Later on it's going to be a right hassle when Tom's taking the commentary, but I will have a better camera for the race, I promise you, because I'm going to use my iPhone. Tom and me set it up last night, so we will have a better camera for the race, and Tom's doing all the streaming as well. I think Megan's laptop's doing amazingly well at the current moment, but 28 minutes to go. Yesterday it was an interesting session as well. Envision are on the back foot now, as I said, with Boemi's crash earlier on, so he's got to find some time. He's going round the chicane now as well at turns 4, 5 and 6, back on down towards the kink at turn 7, down the Beach Avenue as they ring back through. McLaren looking strong. We're just watching Sam Bird at the moment in the Jaguar TCS Racing, fastest in Sector 1 at the moment as well. I wish I could tell you what it is, but the timing one's not actually giving me anything at the moment on the driver tracker as to who's going where. All I know is that everyone's out on the circuit as well. In fact, look, I'll show you. I promised I'll use the emergency screen as much as I can. Rene Rast does a 1:22.182, goes fastest. Bird, his lap time coming to a completion. The pit lane entrance here, very alarming, and the start line is sort of out on a curve as well. A bit like what we see in Rome in the old days as well, so the lights are going to be quite interesting later on when they go out. Bird's top on a 1:36.325. Cassidy second, Mortara third, Evans fourth, Degrassi, Boemi, Rast, Lotterer, Roland and Gunther picking up the top 10. Then we've got City Camera and Hughes coming in as well. Cassidy on an improvement lap time already, it seems, as he is flying around the middle of the track at this time. I did say I would use the emergency screen as much as I could, so that we're not looking at an awful camera and you can see as much as you can. And the field now just circulating, keeping it through. Fortunately, the one problem is the cough button is actually, hang on a minute, I just thought of something. The cough button isn't actually the same because I've got a different cough button. Yeah, that works. So I have actually got a cough button, which is nice to know about. I'm on a different headset as well for this weekend after we found out that the other one doesn't work that well with phantom power. And hopefully as well, we'll have, next time we use this commentary box, which will be in a few, I think months' time maybe, we will get everything else properly sorted and get a good background up as well. Evans goes top, 1:11.067. Mortara in second, Rast is third, Boemi fourth, and Gunther's jumped up to second. He's 6/10 off the pace. Lotterer now closing in the Avalanche. Andretti does 0.5 of a second down. Hughes goes into sixth. And now Roland topping the board. John McVerne is going fastest in the two sectors. He goes fastest now. Look at that though, it's a 1:10.989 and Roland's a 1:11.065. So there's 76 thousandths between them. As well, and 78 thousandths between Evans as Van Dorn to fourth, but Sasha Fenestraz, that's an interesting move there. Sasha Fenestraz now goes fastest overall. I was hoping we're going to hear from Nelson Piquet there, but nothing's quite working out that way, which means later on that's going to be a bit of an annoyance, isn't it, when we try and hear from everybody. We're not going to hear from the drivers. Well, I guess we can switch up as well, and I know later on we will hear correctly as well. Tom Dillon and Ed Hunter join me in the commentary box for this weekend's event. As yeah, well, practice too. You can't really go much worse. I think what I'm going to do when we get the phone later on as the webcam, I'll put it at a lower angle and angle it up towards me a little bit, so it just keeps the background not like this laptop at the moment, where if we move over to the screen you can see I'm having to sort of duck down to be completely in vision, and it is quite difficult to keep on. But Gunther crosses the line, stays ninth fastest. He was 18 seconds slow on that lap time, so it looks to me like he was just having a break session. Fenestraz 1:10.869, Verne second, Roland third, Evans fourth as well. And let's have a replay of Sergio Sette Camera as he's gone straight on down at turn number 7, done a 360 and kept going again. But turn 7 we saw Kelvin van der Linde stop there. It's a very difficult part of the track here, just locks the rear axle and just drifts on, does a 360 and away he goes once again. Which is slightly alarming as Lotterer gets going again on the circuit. And as well, he's 8th fastest at the moment. See if he can improve anywhere up the order as we switch back to emergency battle screen. First sector for Lotterer is good. He's currently, and Rast and Mortara and Evans. Wow, top 3 changing in a heartbeat. Mortara does a 1:10.034. Evans second. Rast third. Fenestraz as well. Gunther goes into third position now as well. 0.2 tenths down. So Gunther did a 1:10.281 on that previous lap time. As I think they're back to green flag running, so I hope Megan has taken off the red flag. She has, which is great at the moment, as I'll be back in that commentary box at half past the hour, well, in 22 minutes time actually, so the session started a little bit later than what we normally thought it would, which isn't great to run through. Van Dorn 5th, Rast 6th, Fenestraz 7th, Hughes 8th, as things currently stand. As the field continuing to take on the times. Mortara, though, improving much of anybody as the green flag is out. Let's give you some information about the track temperature. It's at track temperature's at 27 degrees right now. Air temperature's at 22. 49% on the humidity. 35% probability of rain here in Cape Town. And if we do get a wet race, that's going to be even more interesting because the track is super slippery here. As well, we were seeing it a lot yesterday in practice 1 when Boemi drifted offline, hit the wall, and everything. As I've just whacked into the side pod, I've whacked into the actual thing I'm trying not to knock down, which is a positive thing. Luckily, nothing fallen down, so this can take a whack. It's that type of morning here for Formula E. Literally sent off into the back end of the commentary boxes to try and get things sorted. Sets a camera, 1:13, 14, 15, and goes 19th. He still doesn't improve. 4.3 seconds off on that last lap time as well. And he's still down in 19th place. So not a lot of improvement, not a lot of finding out. We're riding with Edo Mortara now as he comes into the braking zone. The fast part of the track as well coming through. So we're looking for the 48 Mortara, and he is coming through turn 11 and 12, so he's at the back half of the circuit now, and you can see on your driver tracker at turn 12 approaching the finish line. Mortara's fastest of all in the second sector, and he was already top on a 1:10.034. He's got a bit of traffic though, comes across the line. Does Mortara improve on his time? No, he was, after sending fastest middle sector, he was down by 2.5 tenths at the line. Gunther set the fastest first sector time though, with and second sector is a personal best, which is it's not alarming, but it's an interesting view of things. And Gunther goes top. Gunther top, a 1:09.305 then for Maximilian Gunther. René Rast is in 8th position. Hughes in 16th. Lotterer goes second, 5 tenths down. So that's a big lead that Gunther's got in the Maserati at the moment. In this session, keep going to lean on something, but there's nothing here to lean on, so might need to get like a stool or something to lean on later on, because I can't lean on the desk. I can't lean on the desk. I thought I might knock everything over. Gunther 1:09.305. Lotterer, Mortara, Nato, Evans, Roland, and Van der Linde. Kelvin Van der Linde jumps up into 3rd place now. Great job there. Vern goes second. So again, just keeping the calm and moving into fruition as Van Dorn 1:09.647. You can see on your monitors there. Jean-Eric Verne now flying down the back half of the track. Apologies if you can hear some static here in the background. That's not from us, actually. It's surprisingly, with all the equipment, that's coming from themselves. They're having a few issues with audio. It was the same yesterday in practice 1. Luckily, we edited practice 1 and we were able to take that out with a reduce high buzz noise in the background filter we have. Jean-Eric Verne with the Hankook tyres coming down part of the track. Where is he? He's coming down to turn 10. A quick, heavy 90-degree left-hander, which we do see a lot of issues actually with, surprisingly. These two parts of the track. if you think about it, turns 1 is a 90-degree left, turn 7 is a 90-degree left, turn 9 is actually kind of smooth, but does go into a fast corner, and turn 10 is a 90-degree left. And it's weird that we're here in Africa, South Africa, and if you look at the track, it actually looks like the continent. So they've done a very good job there. It's the first time an FIA event has been held in South Africa since 2019, when the World Rally Championship was here. But it is the first full single-seater World Championship event for the FIA since the 1993 Formula One South African Grand Prix, which is nice to see it back, actually. Formula One will hopefully be coming to South Africa in the next 2 seasons at Kalami as well. But for now, Cape Town City Centre is where we need to be. And Verline swinging through at the back half of the track now, 18th position still. It's a 1:10.863 at the moment, as with 17 minutes to go in the session. We've got his onboard open as well. This is the fast turn 9, if you're watching along with us as well, that we were all worried about. As I'm just looking where the 94 is actually on the circuit, on the driver tracker. If anyone can spot him, let me know, because I can't actually see him. Ah, there he is, turn 12 now, but he's jumped forward a little bit. His transponder, I understand, is having an issue. So it's not really being 100% correct as they come through. Pascal Verline now. This is a replay of him through the back half of the track in the sectors, just losing a little bit of time, shaking up the agenda for the day. And Da Costa is under investigation for leaving the track. So is Jean-Eric Verne. You can see on the race control messages there that have appeared. They were both at the same time, actually, at 20 minutes past the hour. Car 25, Jev, under investigation, leaving the track. Car 13, Da Costa, under investigation, leaving the track. So that is Da Costa in the Tag Heuer Porsche and Jean-Eric Verne in the DS Penske. So they've done something wrong by leaving the track. It can't be gaining an advantage. Where that's come from, I actually have no clue. There's things stand. Gunther Van Dorn, Lotto van der Lind, Bird, Mortara, Finistraz, NATO as well. A reminder that when this session's done, we'll have 2 hours before the start of the qualifying segment. And that'll be as well very entertaining to see how they run things as well. And in Formula One, hopefully, it's going to be a lot smoother in the commentary box now that everything's been sorted a bit faster. And hopefully later on, Tom can still hear everything going normally, and his mic is plugged in, and hopefully everything will go swimmingly today. Everything will go okay. We're just worried because we're in a different commentary box setup to normal, but right now you can't tell the difference with the battle camera because it looks identical to normal. But believe me, later on you'll see a difference because Tom's been able to remove that little blue bar at the top that goes across the screen with the green flag as well, so that's nice to see. But later on, also some new fancy frames, which I'm really enjoying, that we're going to try and keep permanently as we come through. As we see now, the McLaren team principal at Neon McLaren watching on, a little bit nervous than usual. Neo 333 just keeping calm. 15 minutes to go, we're halfway through this second practice session, the opening session of the day here on Saturday. I'll tell you one thing as well, and what I'm going to try and do in between the session is get a box and or something just to put this television on so it's a bit more eye level with me, because I'm having to look down. It's I'm sort of hunched over quite a lot in the commentary box. It's not good for your chest, is it? Tictum on the radio, I don't know if we'll be able to hear it or not as he flies through. No, doesn't. Rast 109092. Yeah, technically, by the way, this is a live practice session, but it's also highlights of practice one, so it's practice live highlights, if you like. It's a solution we came to when it's too difficult to do the edit, because Formula One's testing and Megan's got the main commentary box. Usually Megan's in this commentary box if there's a Formula 1 thing and Formula E in there, but with it being the F1 testing, it just makes more sense for me to be relocated to this commentary box for Formula E. I think it's going to be the same for London as well, coming through. Maybe even a couple of other events that double clash. But Megan's, now that everything's set up, Megan's going to be enjoying this commentary box a little bit more. As Rast, Gunther, Van Dorn, Bird, Lotterer, top 5 at the moment. As we take a look back at Avalanche, Andretti. Can they bounce back after not really a bad weekend, but it was a miserable weekend in such as many cars coming into the pit lane. So we'll swap back to driver track. Hello, there I am. Look, it was an interesting weekend as well for Dennis last time out in Hyderabad. Didn't really get what he wanted. Struggled in the race and really had to push hard going forward. So yeah, I'll try and keep this camera only in use during the duel segments, and I'll keep on the battle screen as much as I can, because I think if you look at a timing screen, then you don't need to see my face. Radio commentary works a little bit easier for these situations when the camera's not that great. Dennis coming through, unless this is live practice highlights anyway, we don't usually do these, so different rules coming through. Dennis's first sector time. If I can have a look at the map here. Dennis and 18th at the moment. First sector time was a 33.5, and considering Hughes at the fastest first sector with a 28.1, he's miles and miles off the pace at the moment, is Jake Dennis. He's going to have to improve a lot coming into this qualifying hour and 40 we've got coming up at 9 o'clock. 12 minutes to go. Rast, Hughes, Gunther, Van Dorn, Bird top 5. Buemi's up in his first sector time, 0.079, as well as he gets passed by several cars coming through the back half of the circuit. And Rast now improving. He's actually just at a good first sector, 29.796, as Van der Linde on home soil here in South Africa goes up to 8th position, 8.5 tenths down. He's a 0.003 of a second slower than Verline. Sasha Fenestraz in the Nissan goes top, 109.022, 700ths quicker than Rene Rast at the moment in the McLaren. Buemi's looking strong as well in 14th position. If we can try and have an attack. Buemi's down now actually by 5 tenths. Norman Nato's personal best, sectors 1 and sector 2. Nato improves to 6th. I'm trying to look at the time. NATO is a 1... Well, actually, it's not telling me. It's a 109.578 for Norman NATO at the moment. As Van Dorn, the DS Penske, can give Da Costa an investigation, and Jev, both for leaving the track and getting an advantage. It's a surprise that they've sort of stayed in those positions and haven't really changed around much and haven't really pushed much. As well, we thought that we're going to have a better run of things. Look, if I get that sorted actually for qualifying, it's not going to be that bad, is it, the camera? It's pretty much okay. So if I get that little problem sorted, then it's all okay for qualifying. But it's the fact that the light is hitting at an angle. So I'll get a little bit of cardboard cut and stuck onto the laptop camera before the start of qualifying in 2 hours time, 2 hours 10. Actually, qualifying ends 2 hours before the scheduled start time. Practice, 2 hours before the scheduled start time of qualifying. Degrassi in the Mahindra, watching on, keeping it cool. Just who's he passed on the circuit there? Can't. Degrassi is up there as Van Dorn. Best lap times are 109.674. Degrassi was passing the 17, and that will be Norman Nato. And Tom's also managed to keep the letters open, so the driver numbers will be on the stream later on today as well. So we're going to sort of a new format we're testing, because Tom's taking over streaming for the race. I'm still there with the commentary, so is Ed, but it's going to be me, Tom, and Ed commentating. So it's going to be a lot of fun actually. And I think I'll need a better chair or something, because it is hurting a little bit. I'm just clicking my heels at the moment as well, just moving them around, getting all the fluid out of the joints as well, so we can actually move. It's very cramped. I wish I could say. It's literally, I think, it's the width of an old desk and a chair I've literally just got the width of a chair to move around in this commentary box. I have got underneath the desk to put my legs out a little bit. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm glad I wore the stretchy trousers and not the tight jeans. That would not have been a good move. There's the attack mode on the outside, and interesting enough, it looks like the start line is actually going to be a straight line, and they're not going to curve it. They've put the grid hatchings in a straight line, so they're going to go off track a little bit to get the start. Look, yeah, I'm seeing it now. That's very unusual for Formula E to take that approach. Maybe they learned from Rome and just how it doesn't work, those type of things, because of it all. So, exciting times ahead, I guess, as they come through. Free practice 2 then. 8:13 left on the dock, and we'll be straight off as well. 8 now as well. As soon as this session concludes, we'll be gone again, and hopefully Megan is having an okay time of it. And Tom as well, commentating. They're all watching together. Water Free still better as well. Yeah, it looks like they're all having fun. They're all having fun over there in day 3 testing. I'll join them in a minute, but it's pretty much what it's going to be like today as well. It's going to be pretty much everyone's going to be moving around the commentary boxes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sam Bird watching as well, just in the first 2 sectors, increasing his times. The first sector for Bird looking strong as well. His best lap is a 109.507. And if I look at my driver tracker as well, with Bird, first sector was a 27.638, second, and it's fastest of all actually for Sam Bird, and National Finish Rounds was 21.261, fastest second sector, so I'll be about to see Bird do a 21.974, so he's still in the ballpark, but he's 0.3 of a second slower in that middle sector, and I haven't seen any reason why that would be. I haven't seen any sort of switch around from them, which is it's not alarming, but it's worrying, as Bird actually now does regain it in the last sector by going 0.4 faster, and Bird does a 19.617, so he was fast enough in the first sector as well by 0.4, so he carried that around the lap. So 27.638 in the first sector is now the new benchmark, and the new time benchmark is a 108.550 from Britain Sam Bird, who's had an up and down start to the season. It was a down in Mexico, up in Diriyah with a podium and a 4th place, and then down again in Hyderabad with crashing into the back of Mitch Evans and retiring from the race, his own teammate retiring as well, and a lot of people thinking the same thing, that this is going to be a make or break year for Sam Bird, and he's only got 5 races into the 16 now. This is round 5 of the season, and he's really got to pull something out of the bag to make sense of what's going to happen, as it's a little bit stopping now on the circuit, back onto full throttle, and Evans just ever so slightly shrinking the gap as they come through. Bird, Fenestraz, Rast, DaCosta, Tictum, Hughes, Gunther, Verline, Verne, Sete Camera up the 10 so far. Mitch Evans is on the run, I think, down towards turn 9, the long sweeping dune section as well, that comes up with a very fast corner. This is where Boemi crashed yesterday, and the front of the car lifted up the amount of velocity, hit the wall. We've got a yellow flag out on the circuit somewhere, not entirely sure why. We've gone back to green. It was turn 12.2, so he's down there at turn 12. Oh, that's actually the last corner, and Gunther is now under investigation for leaving the track, as Evans goes second, 108.695. So Evans jumps up to second position. Gunther under the investigation. We'll have to wait and see what that entails for anything in qualifying, whether or not it will determine a penalty going into the race or something. I wonder why it's leaving the track. No lap time deletions have come through on our side. Very bizarre situation. 5 minutes to go of the session. And Bird with Evans, Fenestraz, Rast, DaCosta top 5. Calvin van der Linden now. First sector, he's in. Is he going to have an improvement? I don't think so. He's got traffic in front of him. one of the Neo McLarens. Hello, Dan Tixon to set the fastest first sector time of anyone, a 27.633, which is odd as well. So yeah, that is actually faster. Second sector for Tictum is a 21.271. So Dan Tictum might just move up the order if you can find the time. Third sector's coming into now. We're watching Kelvin van der Linde. He's having pretty much a cool run actually at the moment. He's not doing faster times. He's getting the shakedown of the car after he crashed. Well, actually, the car came to a stop yesterday, didn't it? Yeah, I thought so. Dan Tictum does go top. 108.446 then on the board. Bird second, 10th down then. So the track continuing to improve as massive snap from the Nissan as well. I think that's Norman Nato, who almost went straight into the wall coming out of turn 10 and had to correct massively. Across the line, Van der Linde was 7.3 seconds down, so as always, the Formula E TV director not giving us the lap we wanted to see with Dan Tictum, as he was fastest in the first two sectors and then went quickest of all. This is Oliver Rowland of the Mahindra, and no, that's not Oliver Rowland of the Mahindra, that's an Envision. So where's the graphic showing? There's Rowland going straight on the track, doing a donut, and this is what caused the yellow flag a few moments ago as well, so had to slowly come back on. Gunther is now definitely under investigation for leaving the track. As well as I think that was Hughes who just jumped up into 9th place as well. Gunther rounds out the top 10 as things stand, and 2 minutes 27 to go on the clock. Lotterer pushing through, 3/10 down on the overall time, but that could still put him up into 5th position, just ahead of Sasha Fenestraz and the other Nissan who's running through. Remember, practice times don't mean a lot going into qualifying. The group stages are already set. It's your times from Group 1 and Group 2 of qualifying that then determine the joules of everything as well. I've just realised actually we've got to find some format of getting information from everybody, because I have thought of the same idea, because otherwise there's 10-minute gaps in qualifying and there's no way I can fill that, so I usually throw over to the world feed, so we'll have to get that set up on the iPad or something as well and send down to them to listen as Avalanche and Andretti watch on as well. Now, Jean-Eric Verne, fastest overall in the first sector, comes across the line, jumps up to 8th place. He lost a couple of tenths in Sector 2 and Sector 3. So Verne 8th. Van Dorn's having a good weekend as we watch him now on the screen as well. That's good to see because he's still not got many points in this championship. We're 4 races in, round 5 here. The last year's champion is struggling, and of course there's a lot of focus on Van Dorn. Many of the questions haven't been what you're thinking this weekend here in Cape Town. The question is, are you going to be racing with Aston Martin next weekend, because Stoffel Van Dorn is a reserve driver for Aston Martin, and with Lance Stroll reportedly breaking both his wrists, he looks to be out for 6 to 12 weeks. So that's either a month and a half, which takes us to end of Australia, beginning of Baku, or it takes us 3 months into the season and loses a lot of time. But as things stand, if Van Dorn is going to be driving, he'll have to get on a flight this evening to get to the circuit ready for the shakedown events as well on Thursday with the media and Friday for practice. But the top rumour is, at least, it's going to be Felipe Drugovich. He's in the car this morning, I believe, as well. And Fernando Alonso's in the car this afternoon to get the glory runs, as Cassidy, fastest sector 1 and 2, and is 2.5 tenths up as the yellow flag comes out with the checkered flag as well. So there's a yellow flag at turn 12.2. So I don't know if someone's gone straight on, but that's at the start line where that yellow is, and there's nobody there to take it. So we'll come back up for the camera. Checker flag's out. Cassidy does go fastest. It's a 108.118 as the yellow flag is still there, but we're not seeing anybody stuck on the track, actually, so to speak. We're not seeing anybody off, and no one's down at turn 1 either, so slightly bizarre situation going on there. Da Costa is being told to us on the timing watch. You can see he's greyed out as out, but I'm not seeing him stopped anywhere, and no one's doing any practice starts because everyone's got to complete the run through first to do so. We've gone back to green. So Cassidy, 108.118, Mortara, then it's Tictum, Evans, Bird, top 5 as the time's improving, but not many left to come across the line. And then I'll leave and go to the F1 commentary box for less than 2 hours of testing, which is good. Tom Dillon's with me till 8, then Josh with me 8 till 8:30. Jess Ball from PSGL PSF1 commentator. She's with me from 8:30 till 9:30. Megan then takes over while I do qualifying, and it'll be a 3 commentary box team with Richie and Josh, and then or is it Tom as well joining, and then I'll be back for the last 15 minutes or so and go into the lunch break. And this afternoon, Kieran McGinney will be joining us, who's track commentator, Brands Hatch as well, and commentator with several of the British leagues as well, in mini cup challenges and all sorts as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Megan takes over for the main race when I'm commentating on Formula E, so she'll take over there. And we'll be together for the end. Oliver Rowland's got held up on his fastest lap time as well and puts his hand up, so he's not happy there. But Oliver Rowland on the radio and Lucas de Grassi saying, yeah, Vanderlinde, yeah, so he's not happy with Kelvin Vanderlinde. He was just swearing, you could hear it in the back of the radio. De Grassi's not happy either with Kelvin Vanderlinde. The checker flag's officially out there and the session concludes, and this is how they finish then the second practice session as the practice starts are underway here in Cape Town. It's Nick Cassidy on top, 108.118. Then we get Eduardo Mortara second, Dan Ticktum third, Mitch Evans is fourth, Sam Bird fifth, Stoffel Van Dorn sixth, Antonio Vista Costa is seventh, Maximilian Gunther is eighth, Verline ninth, Fenestraz rounds out the top 10, Vern dropped out to 11th, then it's Rast, Lotterer, Hughes, Sete Camera, Buemi 16th, NATO, Rowland, Vanderlyn, Dennis, Muller, and De Grassi in 22nd place. And we're just having a quick look then at, and that is the reason for the yellow flag, because that is Dan Ticktum, who has gone straight on down at turn 7, and he gets a reverse in as well, but complete lock up there, and that's a shame for Neo, who've been having a strong weekend so far. All 5 lights are on, and away go Sam Bird and Kelvin Vanderlinde on their practice starts down towards turn number 1. So, an interesting session then, not much to analyse, but it's strong to see Cassidy bouncing for the Nissans. That, I believe, is going to be... apparently there's been a spin for Piastri at turn 9, so that's going to be interesting. I would have had F1 testing alongside, but that remote control here also controls that television. So that was a bit of a surprise. As 5 lights on, and away they go for more practice starts. Okay, so we're about the 9:40 GMT for qualifying as well. It's Nick Cassidy who ends this practice session fastest. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.